Good evening. Welcome to the December 10th Valley View School Board meeting. Would ask that you turn your cell phones down and rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, led by member J.T. Baduras. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's see. Board affirmation statement. Vice President Zach will read the board affirmation statement.
Our mission is to empower learners to be college and career ready and to develop, grow, and achieve as productive citizens.
Thank you. Dr. Mitchum, board agenda. This is the part where you say, no changes.
Right. I'd like to ask that the board approve the agenda as presented.
Motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Mr. Gazzafi, Treasurer's report, please.
We'll begin the Treasurer's Report with Action Report 5.1. Includes the financial report, statement of revenue, expenditures, and equity for the month of November, the balance sheets for all funds, summary of revenue and a summary of expenditures and encumbrances, as well as the interim obligation payments for November totaling $4,316,010.08 for your consideration.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Member Baduras?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes.
Treasurer's Action Report 5.2 is the schedule of bills for the month of December. We have 7 funds representing bills payable of $2,896,355.53 for your approval.
Motion?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Baduras?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes.
Summary of investments for November, property taxes received through November, state funding update through November, as well as the all schools trust account activity through October are presented for your information. Also be talking a little bit about investments toward the end of the meeting under information reports.
Any questions? Gary, how are we doing with the market going up and down? We're pretty stable with our investments anyway because of the limited pools that we're in.
Yeah, again,
Correct.
more information, more detail
Yeah.
during that report.
Perfect. Thank you. Anybody have any other questions? Property taxes received. Gary, do we?
Nothing unusual there. We are pretty well collected through the year, close to 99.7% collected. So really not much of a change from year over year.
All right. Moving down the agenda. Consent agenda. Dr. Mitchum.
Yes, Mr. President. I'd like to ask that the board approve consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.7. 6.1 board meeting minutes for 11/13/18. 6.2 executive session meeting minutes for 11/13/18. 6.3 gifts for Independence Elementary School, Irene King Elementary School, John R. Tibbet Elementary School, Pioneer Elementary School, JJL Middle School, and Romeoville High School. 6.4 Board of Education meeting schedule for 2019-2020. We did present information on that item at the last board meeting. 6.5 student activity contract request approval, Jamie McGee Elementary with Scholastic Book Fair, and 6.6 before and after school program, intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Romeoville Recreation Department and Early Childhood Program, and finally trips for Bolingbrook High School.
Motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote would be in order.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Member Baduras?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes.
Next up, student staff recognition, Pillars of Valley View. First up is Jane Addams Middle School. Come on down.
Good evening. Is it on? Hello? We're good. Good evening, President Quigley, Vice President Zach, members of the board, members of senior leadership, Dr. Mitchum, and members of the community. It is with honor Ms. Polson and I recognize Mrs. Sherry Jackson as a pillar of Valley View. She is considered an instructional leader at Jane Addams Middle School. She is an exemplary physical education and health teacher who serves as the key leader for PE and as a track coach. As a classroom instructor, Ms. Jackson is exceptional in supporting all students in meeting their wellness and social emotional goals. As an instructional leader at Jane Addams, she holds all students to a high standard. She is an outstanding advocate for all students, families, and staff. She is constantly looking out for the best interests of all stakeholders. Students respond well to her high expectations and structure due to the relationships she builds with them in the classroom. Her students use words such as nice, challenging, fun, amazing, awesome, and funny to describe her. Mrs. Jackson is a leader at Jane Addams, and her colleagues greatly respect her work, dedication, and persistence to reach every student. Thank you, Mrs. Jackson, for your continued dedication and support to our families and students.
Next up, BJ Ward.
Good evening, school board, Dr. Mitchum, senior leadership, and community members. It is with great pleasure that we honor Mrs. Delitzi Beltran for her passion and commitment to students, staff, and the community. Mrs. Beltran is a fifth grade bilingual teacher at BJ Ward who always goes above and beyond to set a positive and enthusiastic learning environment for all of her students. For example, before the school year even starts, she sends a handwritten postcard to each and every one of her students, welcoming them for the new school year. She encourages all of her students to share each and every one of their activities that they participate in so she can attend them. Her students are over the moon, and even a couple are here, to see Mrs. Beltran in the crowd cheering them on. She ensures that her students' culture is also incorporated into their learning and their daily school life. For example, she has her students work on a Day of the Dead themed writing project. She even sponsors a girl power club to help girls boost their self-esteem. Mrs. Beltran is a team player who is willing to step up to support her colleagues. She initiates activities such as introducing a group costume-themed festival, as well as she has single-handedly created the very first College and Career Day at BJ Ward, where she's invited both the community businesses and parents to present. Her passion and her dedication towards meeting her needs, the students' needs, is evident in both inside and outside of the classroom. We thought it would only be best to showcase the impact Mrs. Beltran has on all of her students by letting them tell you the impact she has made in their lives.
And I was in my other school, the teachers didn't explain things in math that well or something else. But Miss Beltran, how she understands it, I get it more, and I actually try how to do it because I understand how she explains it.
Well, I love that she teach me so good that she's like, she gives me lessons in my life that I love her so much that because by she being a good teacher for me,
Maybe she should teach IT.
Lessons in my life that I love her so much that because by she being a good teacher for me, she has inspired me to when I grow up I want to be a teacher, and that I love that she explains very good the lessons and math and reading, and that I love her beautiful smile. She made me better at math, reading, and writing, and she's funny, and that made me harder at working.
So how has she changed your life?
Changed my mood. Each day she made me laugh. Being responsible and always paying attention.
Great. Do you have any messages for her?
She's the best teacher I've had at elementary.
Like showing me like what I learned and what mistakes I made, so then I can fix my mistakes.
By teaching me how to do fractions and learn about stuff around the world. She's made not only me but all the students in her classroom kinder and smarter. And I hope that all her students that she has respect her as much as we do.
Thank you, Ms. Butcher, for helping us, for etiquette and math. Thank you, Ms. Butcher, for supporting me and saying that I'm smart, and thank you for helping me on my math, and thank you so much. For an example, if we're having trouble with our exit ticket and then you see us struggling, you come and help us and you say what to do and all that good stuff. Thank you, Ms. Beltran. Thank you, Ms. Beltran.
And I have one message for Ms. Beltran. Thank you for letting me be in your class, and thank you for letting me be part of your things. Bye.
It's always exciting to watch fifth graders try to stand still for 30 seconds. Thank you. That concludes that part of the, yep. Next up, Illinois High School cross-country qualifiers and all state qualifiers as well. Dr. Pascavage, who apparently understood that there was a sweater contest tonight, and I am winning.
Making ugly sweaters look great again. Board of Education, Senior Leadership, Community, colleagues, friends, Dr. Jason Pascavage, Principal of Bolingbrook High School. Thank you for having us tonight. I'm going to introduce our coach for cross country, Coach Sullivan.
Thank you very much, board members, Dr. Mitchum, members of community. I'm very proud to introduce Tyler Cushing. He's our cross-country runner from Bolingbrook High School. Tyler is the perfect athlete any coach dreams of coaching. He's the perfect mindset that a competitive runner needs to be successful. He's very smart, humble, and he listens and executes as advised. Tyler has broken and set new school records in cross-country and track. He will continue into next year breaking and setting his own records. He is recognized as one of the top runners in the state as well as the nation. Some of his top performances, most recently at in the state meet or state series. Regionals, he came in second place. Sectionals, he actually won the sectional race, which is the first time ever from anybody from Valley View. And he came in 10th place at state overall. That's the second all-stater the school has ever had. He was also an all-state. Additional accolades for Tyler. Tyler recently was Will County Athlete of the Week and recently was voted by the coaches of the SWSC Conference as the Cross-Country Athlete of the Year. Tyler's our captain as well. He leads his teammates by being first-class all-around person on and off the course. He is highly respected among his competitors and other coaches throughout the sport. So it's my pleasure to introduce Tyler Cushing.
Congratulations. Earlier today, I asked Tyler, I said, if you run 2 miles and I run 1 mile, who wins? He said, can you beat 9 minutes? I just walked away.
Not if you were driving.
Yeah, driving. 9 minutes.
Stay up on a bike maybe, right?
4 minutes and 30 seconds a mile. That's crazy. All right, next we have some of our all-state football players. If I could get Coach Ivelo to come up to the podium and introduce our student athletes. And he's going to say a little bit about this, just looking at the kids walking up. This is a great academic group right here, too. I'm pretty sure he has the GPAs, but these are some of our best academic athletes.
Thank you, Dr. Paskevich, and everyone in attendance tonight. It is my pleasure to introduce to you 3 of our student athletes from Bolingbrook High School, all varsity athletes. They've all received Division I football scholarships. They will attend free of charge and play at some pretty nice universities here. Starting with Cameron Mitchell, was selected to the All-State team. He'll be attending Northwestern University.
Great job, man.
Next is Mr. Anthony Williams, Jr., also selected to the All-State team. He'll be attending Michigan State University. And our third subject is Mr. Quentin Pringle, All-State selection, will be attending Eastern Kentucky University.
Good luck.
Next up, the Illinois Complete Athlete Showcase Award. Mr. Kinder, if you would, please.
All right. Good evening, President Quigley, members of the board, Dr. Mitchum, senior leadership, audience members, and members of the community. It gives me great privilege to introduce our head boys cross-country coach, who's going to talk a little bit about Manny and the distinguished award that he is going to receive this evening, Mrs. Caitlin Finnegan.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. So, as Mr. Kinder said, I am the boys' head cross-country coach, and I have coached Manny for this third year. He did not come out his freshman year, unfortunately. He was playing soccer, and then he learned what the better sport was, slowly, but which happens a lot with soccer players. But I have been an assistant for 2 years with him, and then his head coach now for 2 years. So I've gotten to know him a lot, and I received an email talking about this award that was talking about an outstanding senior, academically, athletically, character, and leadership, and I thought that 100% describes Manny. So I went on to the website and filled out the whole form. I wrote a little essay about him. I learned even more about him writing this essay, so that was awesome, where he's come from and his background and how much he's really grown up into a great young man. He's extremely smart and very talented. He is the best runner we have so far, or right now on our team. His teammates are here supporting him. You can tell we have a very supportive team, which makes it a pleasure to coach these kids. And so, yeah, I didn't really expect for him to win. I just kind of thought I had to give it a shot, and he won. So Mr. Aaron Geisinger is here to introduce the award.
Good evening, members of the board, community. First, thank you for allowing me to be here tonight in order to recognize one of your outstanding student athletes, Manny Buendia. I am the owner of Destination Athlete of Will County. At Destination Athlete, we believe in building better communities through our athletes. And the Complete Athlete Showcase Award recognizes and celebrates outstanding student senior athletes who exhibit excellence in the areas of character, academics, leadership, and athletics. A complete athlete is successful in athletics, the classroom, but even more important to me is the leadership and character. And when I first read Coach Mingy's nomination, these factors jumped off the page about Manny. Not only has Manny had a successful career as a runner with his various top place performances, but it's his success in the classroom, his leadership to his teammates, and his character that set him apart. Academically, coming into his senior year, Manny was carrying over a 4.5 GPA, while being in the top 10% of his class all 4 years, and as well as being an AP Scholar with distinction and the Student of the Month. He was a leader to his teammates as a JV and varsity captain, and his fellow students as a member of the National Honor Society and AP Council. Manny's character is obvious. As Coach Mingy described in her nomination letter, Manny was able to persevere and strive for self-improvement and overcome struggles early in life with English and never making excuses along the way. Many volunteers at local charities to raise money, working with local churches at their food drives, his involvement with the Best Buddies program, and 3 years volunteering at the Chicago Marathon. It's these character traits, along with his leadership, his dedication to his schoolwork and running, to make Manny a complete athlete and this year's winner of the Male Illinois Complete Athlete Award. Congratulations, Manny. You can go ahead and shake their hands.
Sorry.
Next up, let's see, liaison reports, high school student liaisons. We have any reports this evening? We do. All right, let's go.
Good evening, board members and community. I am Daniel McRaven. I'm the senior class president as well as the vice president of leadership. And tonight we wanted to share with you some of our favorite RHS December traditions and ways we give back to our school and to our community. All of the events we are highlighting today fit within our district goals to create a safe and optimal learning environment, as well as our goal to advance partnerships within our community and our families as well. One area we are working on at RHS as student leaders is to make sure that all of our students feel welcomed and part of the Our House tradition. One way we are doing this is by hosting Fun Fridays in the cafeteria, in which we have students wear RHS spirit wear, music playing during passing periods, and a movie playing during lunch hours. In November, for our Fun Friday, we challenged both our staff and students to take selfies with one another, showing off their awesome RHS spirit wear and posting it on Twitter to gain some recognition. We have also brought in our favorite games such as Connect 4 and Uno, and our students have loved to play these games during their lunch. Overall, both our students and staff have greatly appreciated this new RHS tradition.
Not as tall as Danny. Hi, my name is Tegan Snyder, and I am the junior class co-president. To further elaborate on our December traditions, through NHS, about 40 students volunteered for the CASA Train, an event ran by CASA, which is a non-for-profit organization that supports abused and neglected children. During this event, students gave a Polar Express experience to families and their children and spread Christmas spirit. During the same weekend, more student volunteers went to Fat Ricky's for Breakfast with the Grinch, where again, students were interacting with children and their families and helping out with the event. Additionally, the Junior Class Council is collecting items for families in need through the Ronald McDonald House. Finally, this week, DECA is hosting a food drive for the community, and all food and toiletry items will be donated to a local homeless shelter and the local Romeoville food pantry.
Hello, I'm Janila Bisick, and I am Vice President of Freshman Sophomore Student Council. In addition, we also are affiliated with the Adopted Child Tradition, in which over 15 clubs, sports, and advisories join together to help 15 RHS families with Christmas gifts for the holiday season. One of our staff's favorite traditions is receiving Christmas letters. In Leadership Homeroom recently, we have been writing holiday cards in correlation for our lovely teachers for Teacher Appreciation Week coming up. Ultimately, we are we have accomplished a lot in just this month alone, and we are extremely excited for what is in store for the rest of this year in 2019.
Thank you. BHS. You can walk across the front.
Good evening, Dr. Mitchum, the Board of Education, my colleagues from Romeoville, and our community members. My name is Ariana Brajas, and I'll be starting our BHS report. To begin, I would like to speak about the blood drive we are hosting tomorrow. As of right now, we have 203 individuals who are registered to donate blood at the blood drive. This has surpassed our goal of 130, and we could not be any happier. In the school year 2017 to 2018, we were the largest high school donors in the state of Illinois. It is wonderful to witness the BHS community joining together for an amazing cause. Before we continue, I'd like to share some amazing facts about donating blood. According to findings of the BNL blood drives, roughly 4.5 million Americans would die each year without life-saving blood transfusions. Not only that, but approximately 32,000 pints of blood are used each day in the United States. Just 1 pint of donated blood can help save as many as 3 people's lives. Knowing we could support such a great cause is a source of pride for us at BHS. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Maria Spencer and I'll be speaking on recent sports achievements and upcoming sports events. So this past weekend, the girls basketball team won their game against Whitney Young and the boys basketball team traveled to Iowa. They both have home games this week. The girls is tomorrow and the boys is Wednesday. Boys bowling team won their head-to-head match against Thornwood and won their Plainfield North competition in the bronze level. Also, BHS students will be attending a basketball game to support one of our uniquely capable students, Jericho, tomorrow at the BRAC at 7 p.m. I hope to see you at the events. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Simran Sangera, and today I will be informing you on our ROTC accomplishments. A few of our accomplishments include first in armed solo, unarmed duet, and exhibition. We also won second place in armed inspection. Our ROTC won third place overall. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nehal Kaur. My role this evening is to bring up a concern within our student body. Due to the weather conditions, we did have a snow day in the last month, which we greatly appreciated. After talking to multiple students and taking a survey, about 80% of the students surveyed acknowledged that they would rather attend school during the day off in April than coming back after finals week, especially if the final schedule was to be switched over to the following week. Further, for the past couple of months, NHS has been working very hard to raise money for Operation Christmas to help local families for the holidays. Altogether, NHS has raised $3,921 and gave another $1,000 from previous fundraiser efforts. The top 5 students, including Nancy Green, Natalie Herr, Adriana Herman, Darnisha Crockett, and Jack Davedek, who raised the most money, were given a chance to ride in a fire truck and go to Target to spend the money raised to set up gift bags for the families. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Salvador Perez. We are doing a teacher spotlight of the month and I picked Ms. Shapiro because she makes sure I have everything done I need before it's too late. And she helps me through tough times, and not just me, but everyone else in school, like hosting a after-school portfolio workshop. I also want to invite you all to the holiday concert at BHS, December 13th. There will be 2 concerts, a 6:30 concert and an 8:30 concert. It's filled with different performances, choirs, bands, and different solo performances of students that practice a lot. You can buy tickets online for $5 at showtix4u.com. Buy tickets ahead of time because they run out really fast.
Students also want to know feedback of the board. Do you guys have any questions for us for the next meeting?
Anyone? Not at the moment, but we'll think of something.
Okay. Lastly, further concerns for the next meeting is having the library open longer for more studying time for students. Hope to see you guys in the upcoming events and have a happy holiday.
Thank you.
I believe that basketball game is Bolingbrook against Romeoville also, correct? On the 12th?
Thank you. Audience participation. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to address the board this evening? Hearing none, seeing none, moving down the agenda. Action reports. Dr. Mitchum? Oh, I'm sorry, board liaison reports. I skipped over one. From my left, Ms. Sikora.
That's all right. Many of our board members attended the State Board of Education Convention in Chicago in November. On Friday, I attended a whole-day seminar on Myers-Briggs type indicator, which gave us an indication of the personalities of children and how they learn. On Saturday, I attended a workshop on security in the school and also on how to get members of the community more involved in the schools. The security seminar discussed how the schools need to rethink how they respond to fire drills, based on the fact that many of the school shooters use the fire alarms to get students and teachers out into the open. They also stressed putting the numbers on the doors at the bottom and also at the top, because when there is a fire, the smoke goes up and you cannot see the numbers. So there are several important things there. Thank you.
From my right.
I have something for a change. Wilco Area Career Center, October 28th, Student of the Quarters. These are going to be Bolingbrook and Romeoville kids that have attending Wilco. First of all, we have Alexander Denko from Auto Service from Bolingbrook, Marina Delaney from Certified Nursing Associate from Romeoville, and Ania Hillard from Computer Technology from Romeoville, Karina Zotto from Early Childhood of Romeoville, and Arnia Robaniti from Intro to Health of Professionals from Romeoville. They were the students of the quarter for the year.
Thank you. Anyone else? I have no report for this evening. Now, audience participation. Hearing none, seeing none, moving down the agenda. Dr. Mitchum, student due process case.
Yes, I'd ask that the board approve student due process case A as presented.
Motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Baduris?
Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes. Ms. Kinder, board policies, 11.1.
Yes, 11.1 is an action report seeking approval on just one board policy this evening. As part of our standard procedure, we routinely review school board policy in accordance with Illinois School Code and our legal guidance. There's one policy, General School Administration, Policy 310, Goals and Objectives.
So moved. Second.
Motion and seconded. Is there any discussion, any questions? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Baduris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes. Mr. Gazafi, tax levy for 2018.
The administration is requesting approval of the 2018 property tax levy as presented. The tax cap limitation will limit the property tax increase of existing property owners to the CPI or Consumer Price Index, or 5%, whichever is less. In the case of the 2018 levy request, that increase will be capped at 2.1%, which represents the CPI, exclusive of any existing debt service. The extension request is actually higher than what the actual extension will be due to the fact that equalized assessed valuation, or EAV, and new property values are unknown to us at this time. The taxes requested cannot be exceeded. Our operational tax levy is set at $152,865,765. Based on the estimated EAV of $2,569,000,000, of which $33.5 million is the result of new construction, we're projecting a tax rate of $7.28, rounded to the nearest penny. As I mentioned, we've got over $2.569 billion of estimated EAV, which equates to $117 million of new property growth, or growth in valuation rather, in the communities that we service. That represents a 4.81% in property values from 2017 to 2018. Along with those figures are included $196 million in exemptions. Those would be things like senior exemptions, homestead exemptions, veteran exemptions, and so forth, along with $67 million of appeals. Those figures were supplied to us by the Will County Assessor's Office. The levy increase is again elevated or inflated due to unknown what the figures actually will be. The operational levy is being requested at a 4.96% increase. Debt service, including debt service, the overall levy increase will be 6.6%. No change in the levies that we presented back in November. We provided you 3 scenarios: a less than anticipated EAV, a greater than anticipated EAV, and EAV as we expect it to be based on our best estimate. Operational levy should be somewhere about $150,671,000, or about $2 million less than what we're actually asking for. There's a consumer price index chart in the exhibits. Last 10 years, CPI has averaged 1.6%. In the last 5 years, it's averaged 1.4%. Right now, we don't have December close yet, but the indication is that for 2018 levy, or 2018, which will drive the 2019 levy, should be 2.2 to 2.3. So just about a 1/10 to 0.2% increase from where we've been over the last 2 years. The composition of property values hasn't changed much. Almost 80% of our property lies in the DuPage Township, the remaining 20% in Lockport Township. Breakdown, a little over 58% is residential, 26% industrial, and a little over 14% commercial, with a very small amount farm and railroad. Last exhibit in the packet is a property taxes as a percentage of revenue. Our taxes represent just over 2/3 of all revenue in which we operate. So again, it's kind of an important figure. People always want to know how much of our property taxes support the school system, and again, 2/3 of that. So with that, I'm recommending that the 2018 tax levy resolution 1911 be approved as presented.
Motion? So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussions, any questions of Mr. Grisafi, who I might add always makes himself available to not only the board but members of the public to explain these things in greater detail should people have those questions. But he usually does a pretty thorough job, and this information, of course, is available on our website as well. Thank you, Gary, for that. And I did notice in the report that you said we're at 66%, basically 2/3, or 67, something in that neighborhood. There are districts around us that are upwards of 70%, so we try to do the best we can to hold the line on those types of things. So, and that's something that should be shared with the administration and the people on this board as well. So, and I think the public should know that. So thank you. We have a motion, we have a second. If there's no further discussion, a roll call vote would be in order.
Member Campbell? Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes.
Beginning in FY19, the Illinois State Board of Education is providing up to $50 million in property tax relief grants to eligible school districts. Eligible districts are those that exceed a threshold tax rate and that agree to abate a portion of taxes up to a statutory limit in the coming tax cycle. The threshold rate is determined based on the data for districts that apply for the program and will not be known until all applications have been received and reviewed. Grants are prioritized in the order of highest unit equivalent tax rates amongst grant applicants. According to the figures that the State Board of Ed has provided, we rank somewhere around 178th on the list put out by the State Board of Ed. The announcements will happen on January 31st. The property tax relief grant received in FY19 will be included in future calculations of those districts' base funding minimum amounts and will be subject to any appropriations. I am asking the board to approve the tax relief grant application for FY19 in the amount of $19,765,447. I just want to be very clear that I don't think we'll come anywhere close to that if we receive any money at all. $50 million of grant relief throughout the state. By my best guess, taking some percentages and some ratios, we might see a whopping $4,900, if anything. But again, the money's there. We have no idea which districts throughout the state will apply, and so again, it's a feel-good thing, but at the same time, we'd be remiss not to apply for it. So
You don't get if you don't apply.
That's
So
right.
It's that simple. So, motion to approve the grant application.
Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it. Thank you, Gary. Ms. Nash, action report 13.1.
Thank you, President Quigley. Action Report 13.1 is the consolidated action report for certified and classified personnel. This evening, we're seeking your approval on 29 items for certified personnel, 68 items for classified personnel, and 2 items for classified administrative personnel.
Motion?
So moved.
Motion seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell? Yes. Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes.
Thank you. Action Report 13.2, we are seeking your approval on a resolution number 1912, authorizing the dismissal of educational support personnel employees for reason other than reduction in force.
Motion?
So moved.
Motion and seconded. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote.
Member Badouris?
Abstain.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes. Information reports 14.1. Gary or
Yes.
Joanne? Gary?
As mentioned during the financial report component of our agenda, every year Joanne Borg, our Treasurer, Director of Accounting, presents and formalizes an information report regarding our investment results. Every month we have a report in there that gives you an idea of where our money's invested and how it's invested. This report gives you a little more detail in terms of at what cost were the investments purchased, what their market value is as of a point in time, in this case 9/30, the yield that those investments will generate, along with a benchmark yield and what those benchmarks are, and then the percentage of the portfolio in each of those investments. So again, a lot of great information here. It really does outline the amount of work that she puts in and day out on behalf of the school district. As you can see here, the book value of our portfolio as of September 30th, which is kind of a high watermark for us. This would be after the September property taxes are distributed to us, over $174 million under our stewardship. Couple points of the report. The state IOU due to the district has decreased from 7.4 million to 2.9 million as of September 30th. So that's a good sign. Some idea of the definitions in terms of what book value is. That's the cost of the investment, the market value, which includes the accrued interest, the benchmark yields, and what they're based upon. To President Quigley's question, the Federal Reserve has increased short-term rates 4 times since last September. As a result, yields have risen, and you can see that in our overall interest earnings over the last year and also moving forward. Just a word of certificates of deposit are insured by the FDIC up to $250,000. Anything greater than $250,000 are collateralized with the Federal Home Loan Bank, letters of credit, and government securities. So all of our investments are indeed either collateralized or insured moving forward. Investment yield for the year ending September 30th was 1.83, or 75 basis points higher than it was in 2017. We have not had that happen in 10 years. And so, again, obviously a sign of the economy improving. Interest earnings for the year through June 30th were $982,000, or 2.2 times what they were in 2017. Interest as a percentage of revenue still remains at a paltry 0.356. I can remember back, we were closer to almost 8% our revenue, interest representing how much of our revenue. So again, very small amount, but nonetheless, it is important because if that money were not invested in interest-bearing in an interest-bearing manner, we would not have that $982,000. So again, I think it's a great report to bring forward. It is indicative of the times we find ourselves in terms of an improving economy, but at the same time, again, it really just bodes well for us in terms of interest earnings for 2018 and beyond.
So one of the things Gary touched on, in particular the interest that we're earning, in previous years, a decade ago, it seems like it was yesterday, but we would earn $4 or $5 million a year in our interest from the investments of mostly tax revenues. And with the economy going down the tank like it did in 05, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth, those numbers went down to below 1%. If I'm not mistaken, at one point it was like 0.08 or something in there. We had some really rough years, just like everybody else's portfolios, but we are so limited by what we can invest in and the protections that are afforded, of your tax dollars. But also we try to be the best stewards we can to make the most out of that money that we have. And we have tens of millions of dollars invested. At peak times, it's $175, $180 million invested. And then that, as the year goes down, that number draws down. But try to make as much money as we can on those investments in a very protected environment. So Gary and Joanne, thank you, because I know it's easy when everybody's making 5%, but when you're only making, 0.5%, if you're lucky, it's a whole different deal to manage that kind of money. So thank you for your efforts in that. Moving down the agenda, legal services report. I know you all came for that.
Thank you. I just wanted to pass comment. Thank you, Dr. Mitchum, for stepping up and giving a great presentation on ethics at conference.
AFT report.
Good evening to the board, Dr. Mitchum, members of the community. Oh yeah, hi. I'm short too. Okay, my name is Caitlin Morschlak. I am a stellar teacher at the Early Childhood Program. I've been teaching here for 2 years. I was asked to just introduce myself a little bit and say we have nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And there's a stool that all you have to do is kick it out and you'll be taller. Like that. Made by Romeoville High School, I might add, the wood shop. Valley View Council report. Apparently no report. Valley View Office Personnel report. No report? Thank you. Old business before the board this evening. Any new business before the board this evening? Any questions from the public on actions we have taken this evening? Any announcements by the board? From my right, Mr. Zach, you are first on the button.
Okay. On Saturday, January 19th, Romeoville High School Dugout Club is going to have a bowling event. If you check their website for the time and the location, and I wish everybody a safe and happy Merry Christmas.
From the left.
I just want to reiterate what one of the Bolingbrook High School liaisons said. The Bolingbrook High School's Christmas holiday concert is Thursday night. There's one concert at 6:30, another one at 8:30. If you can get tickets ahead of time at showticksforyou.com, or you can buy them at the door. And the Romeoville High School music concert, they have one at either 3 or 3:30, and another one at 7. And I believe you can get those tickets at the door as well. Their concerts, both high schools do a fantastic job for their holiday concerts. I highly recommend going to it. And I would like to also wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Ms. Cora, anything?
Just wanted to wish everybody Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Enjoy their break.
Thank you. To reiterate what Ms. Perro said, there is amazing talent right here in our communities. These kids, I say they're young adults, they put on these fantastic shows. The madrigals, the veterans salutes, the Christmas programs, holiday programs, and the amount of effort that these students put into this and the teachers that coach them and what have you, and the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on. It really, really is fabulous. You do not have to go downtown to see some really quality stuff and have a great evening of entertainment. So I want to commend them for those efforts now and going forward. Also, and I do this every year, and as I should, this is a season of giving. We have a lot of people in our communities who maybe not as fortunate as some of the people that we are or that we know. And so if you find yourself with the ability to help somebody else out at Operation Christmas or at a food pantry or at your local church or wherever, that do something to help somebody else this year. We're very blessed to live in this district, in my opinion, very blessed to live in this state and in this United States of America. So if you have the opportunity to help other people, kindly do that. It does not go unappreciated. It certainly doesn't go unnoticed. I have a personal friend who lost her home last Friday, burnt to the ground, and she is being helped out by people in the community, and it's heartwarming to see the amount of outreach that this person has received just in the last 48 hours. So bless you all. Have a great and safe holiday season, Christmas, New Year's. Be safe. Teachers, enjoy your time off. Administrators, the same. And on behalf of the board, thank you all. Have a great evening. Motion to adjourn would be in order. Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
We might have wanted to say something.
Huh? No, you're out.
20.3.
Hold that motion.
No 20.3 tonight? Okay.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to, again, recognize Jane Addams Middle School for the distinction of being designated as an exemplary school. They're the only school in Valley View that has received that designation, albeit we have some that are close, so we anticipate having more schools that will be identified as exemplary as well, but I wanted to publicly congratulate them on that designation and congratulate the principal who's sitting in the back, Teresa Polson, as well. I'd also like, on behalf of senior administration, to wish everyone a happy holidays and a safe new year.
And also, the young man to my far right is expecting his first child tonight. So, probably not going to happen tonight, but good luck in advance on your first child, because after the first one, it becomes old hat. But there you go. So good luck with that, JT. Motion to adjourn. Motion has been made twice. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Have a great evening.